Greetings everyone. In the previous videos, we did discuss the two judgments by the Pretoria High Court, which were brought by Helen Suzman Foundation and others, and the other one which was brought by the Zimbabwe Immigration Federation and others. We had said that once we get the judgment of the African Amity, NPC, and the holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permit and others, we will take you through that judgment. I might say that we have been having difficulty in accessing that judgment. The judgment was issued on the 29th of June 2023. As you would know, all judgments were sent to the attorneys of the organizations that approached the courts. So the judgment for the African Amity, NPC, is not shared publicly with us. We have not been able to have access to the full judgment. What we have only had access to is just the 2-page of the 16 pages of the judgment. The only thing that we have is the cover page, which speaks about those that took government to court, that is the African Amity, NPC as applicants, Zimbabwe Exemption Permit Holders Association and others. These are the applicants, and then the first respondent being the Minister of Home Affairs, the second respondent being the Director General of Home Affairs, the third respondent being the President of the Republic of South Africa, the fourth respondent is the Minister in the South African, it says Minister in the South African Executive Government, in brackets Cabinet. That's the first cover, or that's the page, the cover page that we have access to. The last page, which is page 15, which is the second last page, it only has an order. So we did not have all the other pages to go through the judgment itself. We hope that we will at some point get the judgment if those that were sent this judgment were to share the judgment. But just to refresh your memories, you will remember that African Amity, NPC, where Zimbabwe Exemption Permit Holders Association and others approached the courts in South Africa, asking the courts to compel the Minister of Home Affairs and the government of South Africa to grant permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits. You will recall that their advocate was Advocate Simba Chitando. You saw them making a presentation in court. So that was the application to grant permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permit. So what I have in this page, in terms of the order, it says, I quote, in the circumstances the following order is made. The first order, the application to amend is dismissed. You will recall, if you were following the court proceedings, that Advocate Simba Chitando wanted to make some amendments to the application. The court dismissed the amendment. And then the second order, it says the main application is postponed. So the main application itself is postponed, meaning that there is no judgment as yet to that main application, and there is no date here which indicates when this application is going to come before the courts. The third order says cause shall be cause in the cause. When I tried to check with one of my friends who understand this legal language, says to me that the courts did not allocate cause to anyone, whether to the applicant or whether to the respondent. So cause at this stage, as we understand it, have not been allocated to anyone. It says cause shall be cause in the cause. So at the moment, as far as we understand, you might correct us, but this is what my legal friend says, that it is not yet allocated to anyone. So this means, therefore, because like I said, we do not have access to the entire 16-page judgment, the case of which was brought to the courts to grant permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits. Its judgment is kind of kept secretly by the attorneys of those that went to court, meaning that the public will not have at this stage knowledge of what transpired in the court. So one will safely say that the granting of permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permit was not dealt with by the courts. So one will conclude in that way, because the main applicant application, as it is said, in order to is postponed. So it's an issue, or it's an issue that maybe at some other time might be looked into by the courts. So what therefore it means is that of the three organizations that went to court to represent the holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits, it is the Helen Suzman Foundation that managed to get the courts to declare that the decision to terminate, that is the process of terminating the Zimbabwe exemption permits, was unlawful, unconstitutional, invalid. And you'll recall that it then granted the minister 12 months, and the minister is appealing. Then also the Zimbabwe Immigration Federation did manage to get the courts to get the minister, the police commissioner, the minister of police, and South African government not to arrest any holder of the Zimbabwe exemption permits until all this process, these court processes have been finalized. So then in respect to granting permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits, it's a case that has not been dealt with. So that's what it is. But if we do manage to get the entire 16-page judgment, like we did with the other two judgments, we'll certainly go through that so that we have a better understanding on what transpired. Otherwise, please write your comments in the comment section. Share your views, circulate this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are on TikTok, please do follow us. Have a great day. Goodbye.